I am Nick Rice, and this is the Extra Point. Week 4 was an incredible week of games in the greatest team season. And with stats, highlights, and analysis, the Extra Point show gets things started in Minneapolis on Monday Night Football. From the Metrodome, 96 Packers, 98 Vikings. Green Bay was in an absolutely must-win football game against their division rival. And with 240 yards and 2 touchdowns, including one big one late in the game to Antonio Freeman, Favre delivered on the road for the Packers' first win of the year. The Vikings had just 12 first downs in the game and settled for a couple Gary Anderson field goals, and that was enough to keep Green Bay alive. And the Packers did just enough to improve to just 1-3 on the young season. 1990 Bills, 1972 Dolphins. This AFC East matchup was incredible, with 747 yards of offense and 7 touchdowns between the two. It's amazing that this incredible football game came down to an interception in the end zone by Miami's Mike Colon. But that was the case in the final few seconds of regulation, as Jim Kelly, who was otherwise perfect in the second half, makes a massive mistake to squander a chance at the first overtime game of the greatest team season. 1992 Cowboys, 1998 Broncos. Well, it appeared that Walter Payton had the rushing title won after 3 weeks of the season. But after back-to-back incredible performances by the Broncos' Terrell Davis, Denver's starting tailback is only 2 yards behind Walter Payton. He is averaging an unreal 9.5 yards a carry and had over 13 yards a carry in this dominant comeback win. 27-20 Denver, and now the Broncos are right at the top of the AFC West at 3-1 this year. Charger to 95 every week gives out game balls on the Extra Point show, but these game balls will have some controversy all over it. Plenty of debate around these two guys. Let's check out the Offensive and Defensive Players of the Week. The Offensive Player of the Week award belongs to Walter Payton, not Terrell Davis. While Davis had the higher rushing yardage total and the bigger runs, Walter Payton's steady performance against Detroit was the singular reason for the blowout win. Chicago's Walter Payton still has the rushing yardage lead, granted by 2, but it should be a fantastic finish, and in Week 4, he was as good as anybody in the greatest team season. There was game balls to give out to basically every Patriot on the roster for their 45-14 rout of the Baltimore Ravens. But Ellis Hobbs, he was as good as it gets. 2 picks, including 1 brought back for a touchdown. Ellis Hobbs, as good as other competitors were, earns the Week 4 game ball of the Defensive Player of the Week. We see some tight division races in the greatest team season, and one intriguing one is out of the NFC North. Chicago leads the race at the quarter checkpoint, but Minnesota is coming off a heartbreaking loss to Green Bay, who's right back in the thick of things after their road win. The Bears have the significant lead after Week 4. We saw this division was pretty tight after Week 3's Extra Point show, and now it comes down to tiebreakers after Week 4. The difference is the Week 2 game at Arlington, where Dallas defeated the Giants, so they are currently first over New York in this NFC East. 0 winning records right now, but Dallas is in front by a hair at the quarter checkpoint of the year. Week 4 of the greatest team season is in the books. Let's look ahead to the Week 5 schedule. So this is the complete Week 5 schedule of the greatest team season, and this schedule has just 2 divisional games. First is on the top left of the early slate of games between the 88 Bengals and the 2000 Ravens. The second divisional game is on the bottom right, Monday Night Football from South Florida between the 68 Jets and the 72 Dolphins. We see 4 bye weeks underway in Week 5. Those are on the bottom ticker. 8 games in the early window, 4 in the afternoon. Sunday Night Football between Indy and Tennessee, and that Monday night game aforementioned from Miami. It should be noted the Jets are 0-4, a loss, and their season is basically over. From the Orange Bowl, 68 Jets at the 72 Dolphins. New York's Matt Snell has not played well this year. Meanwhile, Miami's fullback has been one of the league's best with 3 touchdown runs. One of the big differences of this matchup also has to be that turnover differential. New York's isn't half bad, but Miami's has been the focal point of a 4-0 start. They had a +2 differential against Buffalo in a riveting win last week, and they have a chance to boost that total against the team of the Jets that can't seem to hold on to the ball. 1998 Vikings, 1999 Rams. These two quarterbacks are dominating the league, 15 touchdown passes, and there hasn't been a defense to slow them down yet. They're racking up yards and points and first downs and every number en route to a great start, especially for St. Louis at 3-1. The Rams are still vying for that top spot of the NFC West. Meanwhile, Minnesota is looking up at first place Chicago at 3-1. It's an incredible matchup, and it should be a great game at the Dome in Week 5. 1992 Cowboys, 2019 Chiefs. Similar to the game from St. Louis, there should be plenty of fireworks in this one. Put the ball in the hands of Hall of Famers Troy Aikman and Patrick Mahomes, and great things happen for the two. And with a win to keep first place for the NFC East-led Cowboys and the AFC West-led Chiefs, this should be an incredible Week 5 football game. You look at all the numbers, and it's the makings of 2 championship-caliber teams in Arrowhead for Week 5 of the year. And that concludes Week 4 of the Extra Point Show. Until next time, visit DreamSeasonFootballLeague.com. That is DreamSeasonFootballLeague.com for stats, highlights, and analysis of everything going on in the greatest team season. Until then, this is The Extra Point with Nick Rice.